through the magic of editing, we've picked up our special guest. We have a lifeguard on duty now as well, so I hope everyone feels safe. And we got the party hats on because it is Lund's birthday. And as a birthday gift, Ryan, well, that's the first time I think I've ever called you Ryan. So 2 birthday gifts. One, I'm going to call you by your name. 2, Dustin is going to introduce our guest, or attempt to.
Well, former line mate of Dustin Moore with the Red Deer Rebels, drafted 11th overall to the Carolina Hurricanes in the NHL draft. I don't know what year, but I do know that it was the year that he played with me after.
Well said.
World Junior gold medalist 2007, 2008. He's played for the Carolina Hurricanes, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and now the Vancouver Canucks. Most recently a free agent, I believe, and looking for a new deal. I know a few of us on this boat want him to sign somewhere, but I won't say. Brandon Sutter, welcome to the pontoon boat.
Wow, that was a good intro.
Is that what it's like for you guys, waiting for me to get to my friggin' point? Now I
God,
understand.
yeah, we always check our watches.
Yep.
Like, oh man.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, that's why I drink, Ted. Welcome, Brandon.
Hey, thanks for having me. Happy birthday.
And thanks for coming to my birthday.
You remembered, yeah.
That's a good party. I like it. Yeah, it's nice to be out here, and I'm glad we have a lifeguard. I feel safe. This is good. I'm happy. So.
You're safe until you go in the water. Then I don't know.
Yeah,
Oof.
Ted doesn't know how to swim, so just don't go in the water.
We didn't exactly get the best water day for it, but that's all right.
So, yeah, Brandon, thanks a lot for joining us. We want to do something a little different being out here on Sylvan Lake. And I said to Dustin, knowing that your summer home is here, I thought, hey, that would be a great interview in the off season. So I guess first off, we'll start. What was it like playing with Dustin and having to carry him? And how the hell did he play with 7 future NHLers and be a -1 in 2007?
You were -1.
I was -1 that year.
Wow. Yeah, no, he was pretty good. You were a 20-year-old, right? Yeah.
I was a 20-year-old rookie.
Yeah, he was actually pretty good. Yeah, that's right. We used to give him a hard time because he was 20, like the oldest guy on the team, but he was also treated like the 15-year-old. So it was perfect. He was the only guy I could just bully around when he was 3 years older than me. So
Can you think of anything like really random or weird that you got him to do because he was a rookie?
well, you would have to do like
Back check.
sing a song on the bus or something.
Jokes. We talked about the jokes.
Yeah, tell jokes on the bus. Yeah, it's always good when an older guy has to do that because you can just give it to him and he can't say anything back.
The best part, like Satsi, his house was the house we went to play Mario Party all the time, like his billets, and it was awesome. Like every day, it felt like it was Mario Party. Go to the mall, go to check-in, go to practice. And that'll be my claim to fame now forever, is I got to play Mario Party at Satsi's house for a whole year.
Yeah, we had a lot of time to kill. I like I think my favorite thing we used to go to the mall, the Bauer Mall, and we would take toonies and super glue them to the floor. And then we would just sit there on the chairs and people would walk up and they'd sit there and they'd try to pick it up and then they try to kick it. And then next thing you know, the custodian would be over picking it up. And it was just, we had so much time to kill. And none of us were in, once you're 17, 18, you're not in school anymore, so you're just kind of hanging out. It was a lot of long days, but a lot of Mario Kart and Mario Party for sure.
Oh my God, I remember in junior high and even high school thinking, oh God, those Red Deer Rebels are so cool. And now hearing a story of what you guys did for fun, just gluing toonies to the
wasn't
floor.
that cool?
Well, it depends who you have.
I can see line. Oh man, I wish I was a Red Deer Rebel right now.
Man, well, I do wish I was a Red Deer Rebel. It does sound like fun.
Yeah.
So Mario Party was the game back then. Are you still playing video games in your downtime?
No, I used to. Like my first few years when I went down to the States, I was by myself, so I just had the Xbox was like my friend. But now with family and 2 kids, it's I kind of put that away. I don't really have an interest anymore. But we do play on the plane. Actually, we have so for my 29th birthday. My 29th birthday. My wife's like, "Oh, what do you want for your birthday?" And I'm like, "Oh, I want a Nintendo Switch." So I got a Nintendo Switch because a bunch of guys on the team had them. So on the plane, we play like the new Mario Kart on Nintendo Switch, and we can get 8 guys going at a time. So on the plane, we're just yelling at each other and playing Mario Kart for hours. That's the only video game I play still, but it's pretty fun. Kills the time.
So while we're talking about planes, the NHL aligned divisions or new aligned divisions this year, obviously with COVID, like how was it this year? Like you played 6 teams, I think, all season. You're flying just in Canada. Tell us about your year. Like, did you like it?
Yeah, it was okay. Like it was, it was just different playing the same team all the time. Like we'd go to Toronto and play 3 games and then, play Ottawa the next 3 or whatever. It was just a weird schedule, but being on the road kind of sucked because usually the best part is going on the road. We all get to, we got all of our free time. Like you always fly in the night before. So we'll go for dinner somewhere, go for a beer, whatever, hang out. And then you actually have time to kind of see the city depending where you're at. Or if you're down in like California or Florida, go to the beach for a day and hang out, kind of get away from the rink. It's kind of fun. This year was like, we weren't really supposed to leave our hotel. We were allowed to go outside for a walk, but we couldn't go to anywhere. So it was kind of a long year. Spent a lot of time in the hotel. So it kind of got old pretty quick, but it was fine. Playing the Canadian teams was cool. Obviously in Canada, it's kind of nice when all the Canadian teams are playing each other. So it was fine, but just playing with no fans, just like, it's so different. Like, it's not like now, like, at least watching playoffs, you're like when I first watched the playoff game, it was the U.S. team. I can't remember who it was. They were playing each other. And I'm like, oh, like that.
Just craving it.
Oh, it just, you remember how fun that is. So it's been a while. So hopefully we can get back there.
Just before we move on, are we good with the rain? Do you guys want to take a break or? Yeah, you guys are okay? Okay.
Yeah, just cut us.
Way to look at that radar, Dustin.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we're fine over here. This county,
I'm good, man.
He's doing its job. Sucks to be you two.
Speaking of Canadian teams, though, I don't think anyone would have picked Montreal to be the Canadian team to still be, I guess, the last one standing. Would you have had them?
Obviously, besides Vancouver.
Yeah. Of course. The only reason I would have picked them is because we had the hardest time with them this year. Like our record against them, I think we only won maybe 2 or 3 games against them. They would have beat us 6 or 7 times. So they were the one team that we just like had such a hard time with. So they're pretty good. Their back end, their defense is really good. They're all big guys, but their goal, I mean, when Price is in net, you always have a chance to win. So they're playing well. I don't know. They're rolling right now. So
do you think their style of play is more of a playoff style? Like, do you think that benefits them more than other Canadian teams' styles this year?
It's kind of hard to say. Like obviously they beat Toronto. Toronto's like so talented and so skilled. Like sometimes you play them, you get in like those 10-minute funks where like you just can't get the puck, and they're just like you feel like you're playing shinny, but like they're so much better. They're just they're so skilled. So I was pretty surprised that they went out first round. But I mean, they're up 3-1. Every game's so tight. They end up losing. But I would have picked Toronto, even Edmonton too. I mean, their top guys are just so good. Like they're like, I mean, Connor's on just the next level. Like McDavid is just that good. So I would have picked them to do a bit better too. But that's just the league. It's so tight. Like any game, like anybody can win. So it's I'm not really surprised that Montreal came out.
Edmonton just needs a couple depth guys. Sorry.
You're going to go from a 20-year-old rookie to a 40-year-old rookie pretty quick.
No, I wasn't meaning me, Brandon.
No, he was trying to, basically tell you how to live your life.
He's still in game shape. Can't you see?
Dustin is the king of subtlety, too.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So one thing now, you've lived in Vancouver, lived in Raleigh, in North Carolina, and in Pittsburgh. Obviously, I think would have to be 3 pretty cool cities, all pretty different. Do you have a favorite one out of the 3 that you've lived in?
Oh, definitely Vancouver. Yeah, just nice being back in Canada. And I mean, have you guys been to Vancouver? I'm sure maybe. Like it's just it's awesome. You got the ocean, the mountains, the downtown. It's if you're going to be in a city, I don't know if they're going to find just a city to live in. It's awesome. So we really like it. And we've had 2 kids born there. We have our 3rd kid coming this summer, going back there to have the baby there. So 3 kids born there. It's just kind of become kind of a cool place for us. So Pittsburgh was I started in Carolina, and it was like so different. Like it's like hockey's not really on, like people go to the games, but it's not like it's all college basketball, college sports, so it's not really as big of a deal as is in Canada. So you're kind of just left alone. You just do your thing, and it's so quiet. It's a great place to live. Pittsburgh's like sports town. It's kind of like Canada, but it's like they love football, hockey, and baseball, and that's just like they live for it. So it was pretty cool going to a market like that where they love it. And then obviously Vancouver, being in Canada, hockey's great. So I've been in 3 pretty cool places. So hopefully stay in Vancouver for the rest of the way, but you never know what'll happen.
Would you get recognized when you went out in Carolina, or is it kind of?
No, it's pretty tame. Yeah, we kind of a young group of guys there that we all kind of hung out together, and it was pretty quiet. You don't really ever get bothered anywhere, and it's kind of nice. Pittsburgh was way more like I said, people live for sports there, so they really recognize you. But in Vancouver, it's kind of different because it's a hockey town, but people are so busy skiing and hiking, and it's just a different atmosphere that they don't really bug you too much either. So it's a good place to play.
So you brought up playing in Pittsburgh. You got to play with Sidney Crosby. definitely one of the greatest players of all time. I think
Yeah.
we can safe to say that now. You know, what's something you think about when you think about Sidney Crosby?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously he's just so good. Yeah. I think just in practice, like playing with him in practice, first couple times you're on the ice with him, you're just like, oh man, this guy is so good. And he just makes your team so good. Like when you're there, every year you have a chance to win just because of him and obviously Melican too. But Sid, he's just awesome. He's an awesome dude. And when I was there, he was kind of same thing, living on his own. So we hung out quite a bit, and he was just a good guy to be around. And then he's so good on the ice. It's just fun. There were so many games he would do something on the ice, and guys would just be like, the guys on the team would be like, how did he do that? Like, what did you see him do that? It's just like, it's so cool to see that, because not many guys like that. Like I'd say him and McDavid, maybe Matthews a bit. They do things that you're just like, man, like I don't know how you do that, but pretty
Get
cool.
a front row seat on the bench.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Hopefully you're not on the ice.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone remember what we were talking about there? So we're getting a little bit of rain because Dustin's really good at reading the radar, apparently. But
No, don't put this on Dustin.
There's blue skies for days, boys.
Nothing's gonna ruin my birthday, Ted.
Not even his hat.
Not even this.
yeah, you're not going to
Sick
get any
hat.
rain in that hat.
Yeah, it's raining.
Yeah.
Brandon, you were talking about Pittsburgh. Like, I've never been there. What would you recommend someone do if they were going to visit Pittsburgh? What's your favorite? What was your favorite thing to do, either while living there or while playing there?
Hard hitting question for the Red Deer
Yeah.
podcast.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure our fans want to know.
Travel to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, if you're going to
Yeah,
go
what-
to Pittsburgh, what can you
What
do?
pub you gonna go to? Like, what is the best food in Pittsburgh? Hey, Lundy?
Yeah. It's the best lunch spot.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a sports town, so you got to go there. If you're going to go there, you got to go on a weekend where you can get like a hockey game, a football. Like we could go. A couple guys from Red Deer actually came a few years ago when I was there, and they went to. I think they went to they might have hit all three. It might have been baseball, then like
Oh, the trifecta.
it would have been early football season. I think maybe like a Sunday night football game, and then like a Saturday hockey game. So they had a pretty good time. Yeah, just sports. It's a sports town for sure, but it's cool. You can walk to everything. It's a good place to go.
Did you get a chance to go check out many Steelers games?
I went to, I think 3 I went to. I'm a Bears fan, so I went to a Sunday night football game in Pittsburgh with a Bears hat on. And in Pittsburgh, like they obviously it's a sports town, so they recognize it pretty good. So people were like, "What are you doing?" Like it was fun, but guys were like, "Why are you wearing non-Steelers stuff?"
You and
It's
Merrick
not
are both Bears fans?
Bears fans.
Woof.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did Sid have to sit you down and tell you? To
Yeah,
wear
I
the
don't
right
know.
hat?
I don't think I told him, but yeah, it was pretty fun. It's a good town to go to for sure for football and stuff.
Hey, well, great question, Lund. I guess, Brandon, if you were to pick any city in the world,
Other than
To
Red
go
Deer.
for lunch.
yeah, to go
Where
for
do you
lunch,
go?
where would you go and what restaurant? I want to bring things back to Red Deer, and one thing I'm curious about, because I know I've heard a couple stories from Dustin on this. Obviously, when you played for the Rebels, you played for your dad, and when I played Division 7 hockey back in Calgary, I remember what it was like playing for my dad as a coach. What was that like for you, or was it pretty easy to separate the two when you were at the rink?
Yeah, it was pretty good to separate. It was a little different at first, like just, it's your dad, like he's yelling at the team or yelling at the guys, and he's yelling at you. You're like, oh, this is weird. But before I got drafted to the Rebels, he asked me, he sat me down a couple days before, and he's like, like thinking about drafting you, blah blah blah. Like, what do you think? And originally I was like, fuck no, like no, I don't know, like. But I kind of thought it over a bit and talked to some people, like kind of some guys on the team and stuff, and it just kind of worked out good. But it ended up being awesome. He was a good coach, and it all worked out. It all worked out well. I still lived in a billet and stuff like that, just because it's like, I don't know. You still want to be like just like one of the guys. You don't want to be like special treatment or whatever when you're 16 years old. You just want to fit in. So lived in a billet house, had awesome billets in Red Deer, and went to school in Red Deer, did the whole normal deal as everybody else. So it worked out pretty good, and obviously it helped me for sure because he was a good coach for me. And I mean, Dustin had him. He knows what he's doing, and but that's a long time ago. That was a long time ago, but we had a lot of fun, and I'm glad I got a chance to play for him. It's kind of cool looking back now. I'm glad I did it now. Like, oh, I played for my dad. It's kind of cool. Not many guys can do that. So that was it ended up being pretty cool.
I remember like when I first came to the Rebels, and I think it was in October, and I knew Brandon a little bit, and I knew Ted Vandermeer a little bit on the Rebels, and I come in and a few games in, and I get to play the power play with Brandon Sutter and Marty Hansler on the back end on our 5-on-3, and Kirill Starkov and Brett Sutter and myself. I'm like, this one thing doesn't look like the other on this power play. And then obviously Brandon ends up a top, 11th overall in the NHL, and Marty Hansel's right there, and all these other guys, and like what a cool experience that was. And obviously playing for Brent and his experience in the NHL, Stanley Cups, and he's by far my favorite coach I've ever had, and I think it was probably because I played a little bit like him, where it was kind of like a little greasy and not as skilled as you and Marty and Krill, but yeah, the crazy experience and something I'll cherish for the rest of my life. I know I tell these guys all the time and they give me a hard time, but whatever, I don't care.
I would too. I'd tell those stories all the time too. It's pretty cool.
So after you got Brandon off the top power play unit, it started clicking?
Oh no,
It started working. Finally started working. Yeah, it was fun. We had some fun. It was a fun year. We had a good team that year. It was fun. Looking back, for sure. Good time.
What round did you guys make it to that year?
Ooh, first round.
yeah,
Game
we
7.
lost a lot. But if you think back to who it was against, Vancouver was hosting the Memorial Cup that year, and Medicine Hat had Chris Russell, Darren Helm. Like I think they might have Dorsett. Like they had like
Cam Barker.
yeah, they had a
They had
bunch
some
of
players.
NHLers too. And unbelievable team, and we took them to 7 games, and we lost in their building. I think we got shut out like 3 times in their building. But
Yeah.
what a cool experience that was, and obviously playing with. We got this guy on the boat today.
Yeah. I mean, you guys. I mean, if that didn't happen, we wouldn't be here right now.
For your
Talking
birthday.
about-
On your
for my
birthday.
birthday.
Having a party.
And if you ever
Yeah.
wonder how much Dustin really appreciated playing with you, every year, every hockey pool, he picks you.
That's
Because he wants to
that's
say-
not a good
he
pick.
wants to say-
That is not the right
It
pick.
is for Dustin because he says, "Oh, it's my NHL buddy, Brandon Sutter."
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I got a couple.
Yeah, Dustin has yet to win a hockey.
Yeah,
pool, so-
that's a bad
He's
pick.
still
Come
That wasn't very
on,
nice.
guys.
He still
Maybe a
thinks
late
face-off
sleeper.
wins give him points.
Yeah,
Face-off wins and PK.
yeah, that works. Yeah, that's not a very good strategy, I don't think. But maybe a late sleeper pick. But
So let's shift back because you're a world junior gold medalist.
Yeah.
Like how cool was that experience?
that was awesome. Yeah, I still you just see guys that you play against now still that are still playing the NHL, good players. Like we had looking back at our team, like we had Tavares, Stamkos, Giroux, Marchand, Subban. I mean, we just had a lot of guys that are still playing in the NHL. So it's like you see them now, and you're just like kind of like, "Hey man, what's up?" Like, kind of just remember that time. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, remember what guys are like and stuff. So it was cool. We were playing in Czech Republic and won a gold medal game in overtime. So it was awesome. So what's Saturday? Where do you go for lunch in Party Beach?
You read my mind. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, that was a good time. It was fun.
And something
we
that
won.
you'll live with ever with.
Yeah,
forever
I always
with.
remember when we scored in overtime too, because we were up 2-0 against Sweden in the we played them in the round robin, and they beat us. It's the only loss we had, and they had a good team, and I think they would have had like Backlund and Berglund and
Hedman, maybe?
Hedman, yeah, because him and Tavares were like the guys that were supposed to go first overall the next year or whatever. So Hedman, they had Carlson, they were good. So we were kind of like, ooh, like who are they? You know. So they beat us in the round robin. So then we had to play to the quarterfinals, and so we had to win 3 games to get to the final, 2 games to get to the finals, and played them again. We were up 2-0 with like 5 minutes left. They tied it 2-2 with like 30 seconds left. So we're like, and they were all playing us pretty good. It went to overtime, and then. We scored in overtime, and that was like I was on the bench, and it was just like all I remember is just we scored, and then it was just like a blackout, and then like because you were just so jacked up, and then I don't know, it's cool when you're a kid, like I was only 18, so like you think it's like the coolest thing ever playing for Canada, like it's awesome at that age, and it's
Hey, even at
Lund
this,
just turned 35.
Yeah. Man, even at
Oh,
this
yeah.
age, it's pretty
He
fucking
just
sweet.
wants to go to the Czech Republic for lunch, though. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to play hockey.
Yeah.
Do you remember who scored the overtime winner?
yeah, Halaschuk, Matt Halaschuk, yeah, it was cool. Still remember that for sure. It was awesome. It's cool to go in the tournament because you see all the guys that are drafted high. That are kind of like, ooh, this guy's supposed to be a good player, but you've never seen him before. So you go there and you play against him, and you're like, you kind of realize, what level the game's at. It was pretty cool. It was fun. Obviously in Canada, it's huge too. Like it's not as big in Europe, but our first game we played the Czech Republic in Czech Republic, and it was pretty cool. That's awesome.
Did you catch any of the World Championship hockey this year that just happened?
No, you know what? I never really never watched a lot of it just because I think once hockey's done, like whether you're in playoffs or not, your season's done. It's kind of just like, okay, like completely zoning out hockey for the next 3 or 4 months here. Like
You
I
like
kind of just get away from it for a
Yeah.
bit, and then you find August comes around, you kind of start getting the itch again. So that's kind of always been the way I am. But never really followed them much this year. Obviously they won, which is awesome. And even, I mean, the teams it's hard getting guys to go, I think, just because of the year we had to go. I mean, training camps this year, everywhere you went, everyone had to quarantine for a week or two. So everyone was tired of quarantining. So to go to this World Championship, I'm sure they had to do another form of quarantining, and it's just becomes a lot. But it ended up winning. It was cool. It's good.
So we're sitting here early June, still probably a little bit early in the summer. And I mean, the season's a little wonky because it's going longer, but what's a typical day look for you right now? Are you back to training already?
Yeah. I used to take like a month off when I was like younger, and I found now I can't do that anymore. Like I take like a week off of nothing, and then I'm like, okay, I got to like work out or something, and then I just feel better when I do a workout or something. But
we can teach you how to change that.
Yeah,
that attitude pretty quickly. Yeah.
Your old
Exactly.
teammate.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, I'll send you over my training plan.
Send me your
Dustin
program.
took a month off about 15 years ago, and it's still going.
Yeah, so now I go to the gym in the morning. Right now my kids are back in school in Red Deer for like pre-K or whatever for a few weeks. So take them to school, go to the gym for a couple hours, go pick them up, come home. And the summer's nice. You got the afternoons, the days off to do whatever you want, and kind of go to the gym whenever you want. But I've always been pretty disciplined with training and stuff like that. So I enjoy it still. So a lot of guys get tired of it, but I haven't quite got there yet. I still kind of like it. So it's fun going in. And that's about it though. We spend a lot of time out here at the lake, and weekends like to go camping, stuff like that. So that's kind of my typical day or typical week, I guess. It's pretty low key in the summer.
Do you like to train with the same group of guys? Like, do you like to train with other NHLers, or do you just like coming back here, training at your local gym?
Yeah.
Maybe your buddies back here.
Yeah, I've always kind of gone to the gym ever since I was probably 16, 17 with would have been Paul Postma and Colton Sevier and Matt Fraser and Chris Russell, kind of been the same guys that have been there kind of forever. So we've been going to the same place for a long time.
Maybe the best bantam team ever assembled in Red Deer, by the way.
We did have a good bantam team. Yeah, a lot of good guys. So those guys I played with then, we're still go to the gym together and stuff. Now that I'm older, I just do my own thing. Like I go there and just put my headphones in, and because I just kind of know how to train. Whereas when I was younger, it was kind of like I needed a trainer to tell us what to do. We'd kind of follow orders. Whereas now we all kind of do our own thing. And now I've had, a lot of guys, once you're older, you just have like injuries you got to deal with. So when I go to the gym, a lot of it's like, half of it's just like working on your shoulder or your knee or your elbow. And then after an hour, you're like, okay, now I better start my workout. And then, it's some days are long, but it's, I can't complain. I still enjoy it. So it's fun.
You only have like 16 more years to catch joggers. So
keep it up, man. Seriously. Can you imagine? Even guys that are like, what's Chara, 42 or something?
I think it's like 44 maybe.
I don't even know how you do that, but...
Postma and Fraser were telling some stories about Chara, and we had him on the tea time there last Thursday, and just hearing some of the stories about
the
NHL test? and him just being a realtor and having his hobbies that are out. You don't realize that NHLers are real people, really, at the end of the day.
That's because you never were one, Dustin.
Is that right there, lifeguard?
He's got you there, lifeguard.
Yeah.
Well, don't fall in the lake today, Dustin.
You're not coming for me?
No.
Did they tell you about the Chara? I've heard about his pull-up test or whatever.
Well, I've heard he's just an absolute specimen.
Oh, he's like 200.
I don't think we've heard this pull-up. Do you
know?
know?
I don't know. Your chin is already above the bar just by standing there.
I remember guys saying in training camp he'd do like 30 or 35 pull-ups, and he's like 260 pounds.
Yeah.
So like, but on the ice, like he's so big. He's just a beast. Like you go in the corner with him, you're kind of like, this might hurt a little bit.
And he just looks mean on the ice too. Like you don't want to piss him off.
No.
Well, let's spin off that question. Who's kind of like the guy in the NHL that you're like, I don't want to go in the corner with you, like besides Chara?
Oh,
I mean, I'll take this one. Absolutely nobody. Sutter, he'll go in the corner with anybody. You pick a time and a place, he'll meet that guy in the corner.
I might get destroyed, but I'll still go there.
He'll show up.
No, I agree with that.
He'll show up.
Yeah, there's some, I think probably Ryan Reeves is still like, I mean, he's so big. Just tough. Like he just plays hard. Tom Wilson, there's big guys. But like some D-men catch you off guard sometimes. Like you don't know how big they are, and then they just get a hold of you and you're like, and you can just feel it. It's going to hurt. But signed up for it, so can't complain.
I don't think standing in front of the net with Shea Weber's all that nice.
No, but you know what? Now you can definitely. He's a beast too. But now it's so different than when I first came to the league. Like you used to be able to go in the front of the net with Chris Pronger was like, oh,
You're gonna hurt.
He's standing there.
They call him the human rake for a reason.
He's got his stick up looking at you, and you're like, oh, I got to go there. Coach is yelling, get to the net. Do I have to?
On my way.
Yeah, so it's changed a bit. Guys can't just bury you anymore than they used to. Now it's just a penalty, but they used to just give it to you in front. That used to kind of suck. But there's still some big guys.
So I'll steal this question. I think Dustin asked Matt Fraser and Paul Postma this. Who's one guy you played with in the past that's just a great guy, an absolute beauty that's just your favorite your favorite teammate, I guess.
Who would you take out for lunch in Pittsburgh?
Yeah. That's a great
And
way
where
to
would
phrase
you
it.
go?
Oh, this is tough.
Okay, you don't have to name one, but if you had a couple or a handful of guys,
Someone you're close with, yeah.
Well, I guess I could try to go through a couple teams or something. Like when I was in Carolina, we had younger guys, guys I lived with, Brett Carson and Justin Peters. They were kind of the guys that played with the American League and then a little bit in the NHL. Me and Eric Stahl became pretty close buddies too. Cam Ward was there too. They were good guys. The funniest guy was Ray Whitney though. He was
Really?
he was off the wizard. He was awesome. He used to have he had a tattoo. I think he was of a baseball player, and he had it on his butt or on the back of his leg. And he would when you watch on TV, they'll show the cameraman scrolling through the dressing room. And they'll show guys tying their skates or whatever, and it's kind of awkward because no one wants to look at the camera, but the cameraman's there, a guy with a mic, and it's kind of awkward.
Yeah, I've seen the footage.
Yeah, so they would
bookmark.
the guy would pan through the room and go through a bunch of the players, whatever, and anytime he had a chance, he knew it was coming to him. I sat right next to him for a couple of years. He would pull his pants down to his knees, and he would turn around and he'd shake his ass in the camera, and you could see that little baseball player. And every time the cameraman would just stop, and he'd just start laughing, and they had to cut it out and start again. But he was one of the guys that was pretty funny.
This is the hard-hitting news we expected.
Yeah, this is exactly what we
Happy
want.
birthday, lunch.
Yay!
So that was Ray Whitney. He was funny. In Pittsburgh, there's a lot of guys. We had great guys there. Tanner Glass and I were pretty good buddies. Guy from Saskatchewan, so he was. It's weird, guys. I just find generally guys from Saskatchewan, Alberta, we're all kind of the same. Even guys into BC, Manitoba, whereas a guy from the eastern part of the states is just completely different lifestyle and stuff. So it's just different. Whereas I always kind of mesh with the guys from out west. So in Vancouver, we got an awesome group. Bo Holred and our good buddies, JT Miller, Tyler Myers. We were all there's so many good guys in hockey. That's the best part of playing hockey, I think. When I'm done playing, it's I got to play with so many cool people, and you meet their wives, and you get to know just their families and stuff. That's kind of the coolest part. So there's a lot of good dudes.
Yeah, and then you can go back to all the different cities you've been and check out
Check out all the spots.
I was kind of thinking you can come back to Red Deer and play Mario Party with Morrissey.
That too.
All right.
Or come to a
I should have
35th.
started my question. Dustin Moore is the coolest guy I ever played with.
Attaboy, Morrissey.
Did you ever think, a first-round draft pick in the NHL, you're still playing for the Vancouver Canucks. Did you really think the highlight of your June would be someone's 35th birthday party on a boat recording a Red Deer podcast?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's about 8 degrees right now.
I can't even see the shore over there.
Dustin's radar skills are not good. So just another quick shout out to Ryan and Riley. We're under the canopy right now. They've got the cameras covered, the stuff covered. They are troopers. So
We're staying dry right now.
yeah.
I mean, June's not over. This may not be your highlight. It's going to be pretty tough to top.
Until next June.
So as we could probably keep asking questions about restaurants all over the world forever, but the rain just keeps coming a little bit off and on, and we're gonna try to speed things up. And with it being Father's Day, and you said too, you're expecting your third child pretty soon. We already did some dad jokes, so I actually brought a game. It's called Laugh and Lose, the ultimate dad joke showdown. So Brandon, we're gonna have you read off from the cards just random dad jokes to the four of us. The first out of any of us to laugh 3 times has to jump in the lake.
Oh, I like it.
And no tickling.
Yeah. Yeah.
No tummy sticks.
Yeah, no tummy sticks.
No
Spit and
tickling
chicklets
and
is
no using other jokes to make people
Oh my!
laugh.
Okay, but first, I just saw the first boat we saw today out there. He's fishing, I think.
He's probably making
Trooper.
making
What an
sure
idiot.
we're okay.
He's like, what are these guys doing?
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
so dad joke, right? Read this out. Okay. What did the aliens say to the garden?
What?
Take me to your weeder. I
No tickling, Dustin.
don't think we're gonna laugh at that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's junk.
Maybe I should
Oh,
take a
that's
couple
pretty
and
good
pick the one I like.
Oh.
Well, that doesn't count.
No, no. There's a statute.
There's a statute, he said.
Oh, this is pretty good, actually. You guys will like this one. What do elves learn in school?
What?
The alphabet. Dustin. Point for
One.
Dustin.
I thought I would be good at
I
this
didn't
one.
know, well, I'm laughing because
Doesn't matter. Can't laugh.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
You
So
can give me a
Dustin
point
and
if you
Kevin
want.
got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I was going to be stone
Wow.
cold on this game.
Oh, geez. Just give me a sec here. Okay, why can't stairs be trusted?
Ted knows.
Because they're always up to something. I don't know, guys.
Not if you trip on shoes and fall down them.
Okay, why did the coffee file a police report? It got mugged.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. That was good. That was a good one.
Lundy and Walsh.
Walsh too? Walsh is that
too?
too?
Okay. What did the strawberry say when his song came on?
Let's dance.
That's my jam.
That's Kevin. He's going in.
He's
Go in,
going
go in.
In his,
Got me.
in his Rob Ray pants.
I think we're laughing. I think you guys are more laughing at each other's silence than you are at the
I-
actual jokes, because these
I
aren't that
laughed at
funny.
These two guys.
Yeah.
The first two.
Kevin, you laughed at like 3 out of the 4 jokes.
Well, they're pretty
Good.
funny.
That was
I
quick.
told you I'm in peak dad mode. Like, yeah.
All right, so Kevin,
Those
we'll
are
at
good.
least, just because we want to get Ryan and Riley's equipment away as quick as we can, we won't make you jump in till the end of the episode so you can stay warm until then.
Thank
but then you got to go in.
Deal.
And then you have to swim to shore.
Deal.
Okay.
Oh dear.